Money. Sir, start cheyidalo.
Yes.
Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. These are the words of Henry Ford. A very warm good evening to all of you present here in this meeting. Let's start the meeting with a silent prayer. IEEE Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers is the world's largest technical and professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefits of humanity. Under IEEE, there are many societies, and one among those is EMBS, Engineering and Medicine and Biology Society, which is the world's largest international society of biomedical engineers. On this day, 12th February 2022, on behalf of all the EXICOM members, I'm so delighted to welcome each and every one of you to this annual general meeting 2022 of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter. Myself, Sri Lakshmi, event lead of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter student branch, and it's my pleasure to lead the conduct of today's meeting. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. B.S. Manoj, Chair of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for the introduction speech. Manoj sir is a senior member of IEEE and is currently working as professor at the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Trivandrum. He is an active researcher with an H index of 30 and more than 150 research publications, including 3 higher education textbooks. He developed the multi-track modular teaching for research-oriented teaching learning process. I'm so honored to welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. It gives immense pleasure for me to address the auspicious gathering of members of IEEE EMBS Kerala. So, since we met last year, we have passed 2 waves of COVID, second as well as third wave. We haven't recovered yet from that. So, EMB activities are even more important today than ever in the past, and it will be more important in the future as we are going to face activities and critical situations that are more important for our research as well as activities. So today in this AGM, we will be presenting the annual report. We will also discuss the financial report. The awards for the outstanding volunteers will be distributed, and announcement of the office bearers for the next year will be made. And there will be an address by the outgoing as well as incoming chair, besides discussing the future plan and activities. So I would like to mention that this particular AGM excludes a couple of important activities because of its online conduct. One of the things that we have postponed for a subsequent physical or hybrid event is a major awards distribution, which we will conduct in a significant ceremony. Besides, the release of the newsletter and directory will be made during that event. So, without further ado, I hand over to Sri Lakshmi to conduct rest of the procedures. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Mahesh R. Panikar, Vice Chair of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for welcome address. Mahesh sir is a senior member of IEEE EMBS, Six Sigma Green Belt certified and a trust practitioner. He is an associate professor and head of Department of Electrical Engineering at IIT Palakkad. I'm so delightful to welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sri Lakshmi, and good evening to each one of you. And as Professor Manoj was saying, I think this is a biggest occasion or the biggest get-together of the IEEE EMBS Engineering in Medicine and Biology Society of IEEE Kerala Chapter. And it's my honor and privilege to welcome each one of you to this occasion, the annual general meeting 2022. And before I begin, I just want to highlight one important aspect related to what Sri Lakshmi was highlighting. We are actually the biggest international association for biomedical engineers. But if you think further, if you see, we are also one of the biggest societies under IEEE, which brings together interdisciplinary people, right? We have clinicians, biomedical engineers, electrical, electronic, mechanical, computer, design engineers, all of us are together. And the role that we have to play is also very significant, which is actually to save human life, right? So whatever we design is not luxury, it is a necessity. So it's very important that each one of us realize and practice that. So before I proceed, it's my honor actually to welcome Professor Manoj, who is the chair and who has been actually doing a very important role, because we have a turbulent time in 2021, and it was not at all possible to conduct any of the events in a physical manner, but we successfully conducted most of it online in a very efficient way. So I welcome Professor Manoj to the AGM 2022. And alongside me in the executive committee, Sri Baiju NB, who has been running after each one of us to make sure that all of us attend it and arrange the programs in an efficient way. So it's definitely, he has been the backbone for the last year. So it's my pleasure to welcome Sri Baiju also to the AGM 2022. And Sri Vinod Kumar, he has been also one of the pillars in the last year. So it's my pleasure to welcome Sri Vinod also to this occasion. And Sri Korithu sir, I'm not sure whether he joined. Actually, I should welcome him first, because he has been the pillar of IEEE EMBS society, if ever, I mean, from the inception, and he has been trying to drive it in more and more efficient way altogether ever since its start. So it's my pleasure to, he's really, I mean, not necessary to welcome him because he has been instrumental in this society. So, but it's my pleasure to welcome him as well to the AGM 2022. And then all other executive committee members, I met some of them, but most of them I'm not able to meet because of the physical constraints that we have. But student community, it's the pulse, the essence of EMBS society. So, and somebody who runs behind students and coordinates the student activities should actually have a special mention. So it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Jayashree, who has been actually instrumental in so many activities last year, to AGM 2022. And all other members of executive committee, I'm not mentioning each one of them. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you. Last but not the least, I think all the student members who are here should realize that this is your occasion, because you are the pulse of the society. So you should take this as your biggest get together in a way, and I'm welcoming each one of you to this occasion as well. And before I end my welcome speech, I just want to take a liberty of 2-minute video. I just want to show, because one of the questions that I've also asked actually many times is like, what is so important about engineering in medicine and biology, or why you are working in this area, what motivates you? So I'm sure this video you might have seen, just 2 minutes. I won't take much of time, but this should actually motivate the young engineers out there. So I'll just quickly share it, and I'll share the link also. Some of you might have seen this video earlier. I hope you can see my screen. So I'll just make it full screen as well. If in case you're not seen this, this is something which really should motivate us. So human as an industry plant. Okay, so this is a human body, and if we consider engineering aspect of it, we can actually see this. So maybe I'll, in the interest of time, I'll share the video in the chat so you can see it fully offline. So again, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome each one of you to this occasion. And together, all of us can make a better society in all sense and better IEEE society as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. M.J. Jayashree, Student Activity Chair of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, to recite the Code of Ethics. I'm so humbled to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. A warm good evening to one and all. I request all members to repeat the Code of Ethics in your seat with audio muted and video bar with all due respect to Code of Ethics. Patients and human subjects. Respect human dignity and privacy of patients and human subjects. Information. Ensure proper safeguarding of all confidential information, including information pertinent to patients, subjects, commercial entities, and trade secrets. Environment. Promote a culture of cost effectiveness. Support the preservation of a healthy environment. Research. Engage in research aimed at advancing the contribution of science and technology to improving healthcare profession. Report. Research results with scientific integrity and proper due credit. Observe the rights of human research subjects and strive for a balance between benefits and potential harm. Ensure a responsible and humane use of animals in research. Conduct clinical research studies in accordance with good laboratory practices and good clinical practices. Profession. Hold in high regard the interdisciplinary nature of healthcare delivery and research. Foster collegial interdisciplinary relationships. Respect, value, and acknowledge the contribution of others. Encourage a culture of knowledge exchange and mentorship. Avoid or properly disclose conflicts of interest. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Baiju NP, Secretary of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for presenting Annual Report of 2021. It's my pleasure to welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to all. Here I am presenting the annual report of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter 2021 activities. So the office bearers in 2021 was Chair Dr. B.S. Manoj, Vice Chair Dr. Mahesh R. Panikar, Secretary myself Baiju NB, Treasurer Vinod Kumar V, And we have the following student branch chapters: TKMIT Kollam, MEC Kochi, SCET Thrissur, IAST Trivandrum, MBCET Trivandrum. The highlights, the activity highlights in 2021, like the EMBS Kerala achieved the 9th largest among all EMBS chapters with our 213 members, that is on December 2021. And we had the membership growth was around 63.8% during 2021. And also we had a number of events, plenty of events in the 2021, including distinguished lecture series, industrial visits, panel discussions, in technical and talks and webinars, workshops, and we are also part of Inter-Society weekly webinar series, and we have plenty of student chapter activities. Altogether, we had around 141 plus activities during the last year. And if you see the activities in detail, so the distinguished lecture series, last year we started the distinguished lecture series. We had around 4 number of distinguished lecture series on biomedical area. The first one was Smart Healthcare with Telemedicine, EMR and Biomedical Systems by Mr. PJ Binu from CETAC Thiruvananthapuram. We conducted this lecture series in collaboration with Telemedicine Society of India Kerala Chapter. And the second lecture was on Biology in Space, Challenges and Opportunities for Engineers by Professor KG Srijalakshmi from IST. And the third lecture was on the topic Emerging Trends in Wearable Electrochemical Sensors by Dr. Binu Mohan, who is a DST inspired faculty from CSR Karaikudi. This event was jointly organized by Telemedicine Society of India Kerala Chapter and Digital Health India Association. Then the last distinguished lecture series was on the topic Cardiovascular Disease Burden and Priorities for Prevention by Dr. Jimon P., Associate Professor, SCET IMST. And these are the flyers on the top distinguished lecture series. And we had around number of webinar and technical talks during the last year, starting from the Harnessing Ultrasound and Microbubbles for Next Generation Imaging and Therapy by Dr. Hamashu Sekhar, Assistant Professor IIT Gandhinagar. This was organized by Ultrasound Imaging at Indian Institute of Technology, Palakkad. And the second webinar was on the topic Calibration and its role in biomedical engineering by Lena Joseph, engineer, BMT Wing, SCET IMST. The third talk was on the topic Chitra Head Valve Process Development by Dr. G.S. Bhuvaneswar, former head, BMT Wing, SCET IMST. This was on the AGM 2021. Then the fourth webinar was on the topic Early Detection on Autism and Recovery by Dr. Rashmi Pramod, founder and MD of Jeevaniyam Ayurveda Hospital. The fifth webinar was on the topic Role of Systems Engineering in Medical Device Development by Mr. Ratna Girishar, Quality Lead, UST Global. Then on the Doctors' Day, that is on the July 1st, we conducted a webinar on the topic COVID-19 second wave, the Indian variant of concern and the general impact of vaccination by Dr. Meghdat Nasreen Nawab, Medical Officer with ESIC, Ministry of Labour, Delhi. And the seventh webinar was on the topic e-delivery of EMR for a value-based healthcare by Dr. Geeta Govindan, Senior IEEE member, Scientist Grade G, Computer Division, SCET IMST. And this was conducted in collaboration with IEEE Education Society Kerala Chapter. The eighth webinar was on the topic My Trust with the Blood Vessels, Their Diseases and Biomedical Substitutes by Dr. M. Unnikrishnan, Head of Department of Vascular and Endovascular Surgery, SUT Pattam Hospital. And this event, it was today event was jointly conducted with IEEE ELMI Kerala Section. The ninth webinar was on the topic Steps Towards Healthy Vision by Dr. Sharika, EM, ophthalmologist. And the 10th webinar was on the topic Medical Device Evaluation from Bedside to Bedside by Mr. Vinod Kumar V, Scientist Grade G, SAT IMST, and our treasurer. This was conducted along with the ICNIUM. The 11th webinar was on the topic Healthcare Interoperability, Challenges and Opportunities by Ranjit Nair, Chief Technology Officer, Government. And this was some flyers prepared for that webinars or technical talks. And last year we had 2 panel discussions. First one was on the topic changes in medical device industry and regulations in the last 5 years. And another was on the topic IEEE role in India's R&D growth. And last year we had one industrial visit to SAT IMST by the final year students and the EMBS members of Biomedical Department TKMIT for a one-day visit under the guidance of Dr. Nidavi Panikar, Assistant Professor TKMIT. So this was the team for the industrial visit. This was the panel discussion. And other major events, like we had one MOU with the Telemedicine Society of India Kerala Chapter and Digital Healthcare India Association for conducting mutually beneficial events. And we also conducted mutually webinars, jointly organized webinars. And we are also in steps towards IEEE EMBS Kerala 2021 Directory of Biomedical Engineers and Telemedicine Professionals. And last year we conducted the IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter AGM 2021 on 20th February. And on the same day, we honored the pioneer in biomedical technology, Dr. G.S. Bhuvaneswar, former head, BMT Wing, SAT IMST. So these are the photographs and for the events conducted. And if you see the EMBS Kerala Chapter student activities, there was a student meet after the XCOM and also SA XCOMs and XA meetings during that 2021 year. And we had around 17 poster releases on during different occasions like World Health Day, Vishu World Environment Day, like that. So we had around 17 poster releases. These are some of the posters released on various occasions. And we had around 12 number of IEEE EMBS pulse talks on different topics by our students, ranging from the topic graphene air filters against COVID-19 by Afijit Obi, new advances in transplants and bioengineering aid in replacing the womb by Esther Maria, carbon nanotubes by Naufal Naushad, hearing aid technology by Hannah Ansa, the biology behind eating disorders by Amina Mohammed, understanding the long-term impact of COVID-19 in surveyors by Sarah Susan Suresh, new apps in healthcare by Vinayak, the search for a drug to end Alzheimer's by Afijit S. Nair, brain-computer interface by Sona S. Babu, a step closer to mind control for everyday life by Meenakshi Panikar, synthetic biology by Namita R, tracking sleep to optimize health by Rohan Gio Chako. So we had around 12 number of pulse talks during the last year. And we had the events like essay writing competitions, biomedical engineering Qs, webinars. We on the doctors the webinar. Then Trillium, which consists of poster making competitions, photography competitions, article writing competitions. These are some flyers and the photographs for that. And December we conducted the ICNIUM 2021 a 2-day event with many events like idea pitching competition, a half-a-day Raspberry Pi workshop, then quiz competition, and also had 2 webinars. And if you see the SBC activities, DKMIT having number of events like 4 webinars, that is on calibration and its role in biomedical engineering, webinar on early detection of autism and recovery, webinar on role of systems engineering in medical device development, webinar on importance of innovative projects and patents. Then also one talk on IEEE benefits of IEEE and EMBS, and they conducted the industrial visit to SCT IMST, and two major events, pre-Synopsis 21 and Synopsis 21, that is a 4-day session in collaboration with the TSA and the HIA. Is contained a number of events, sessions, and this has flyers prepared for that. And SET, the activities are the synergy, that is during the very first month, January 2021. Then had the webinar on steps towards healthy vision. Then a COVID-19 awareness campaign volunteer call was conducted on May, that is Covaxon. Then logo design competitions. Then Epignosis talk series on mental health during pandemic. Then one interactive session on the topic, what are the leading biomedical companies looking for in freshers? Then a webinar on the fundamentals and current trends in biophotonics and photonic devices. Then MEC conducted the article writing competitions. Then the orientation session, that is the incubate. Then career development, the discussion on career development, that is the insight, which was conducted in collaboration with the BMA, Biomedical Association. Then a biomedical quiz, the Elixir 2. Then for the peer-to-peer learning session on programming in C, that is during October. Then WCT, they conducted the online photography contest, online speech contest, the Speak Up, then membership development of the Chase, and the pep talks, study masters abroad, exploring higher education options. Okay, these were the activities we conducted around in the 2021. So now I requesting for the approval of our activity report 2021. From the members.
Members can type into the chat box to,
or even use the mic and
that's okay.
From Suresh KS, one message from Suresh KS from for approval of activity report. So okay, thank you for your kind support in accepting our activity report. Hope we will have many more events in the next year also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I'd like to welcome Mr. Vinod Kumar V, Treasurer of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for presenting the financial report. I'm so happy to welcome you, sir.
Very warm good evening to all of you. Even though we have conducted so many activities, most of them we haven't incurred any expenses at all, because most of them were online. And coming to the expenses of 2021, starting from idea pitching the competition, we had spent around 9,500 for the prize money, and for the expenses in for the EMBS activity for the previous year, we have reimbursed to our previous year Kodukri sir. Then for actually our major expenses during last year was for our conducting our AGM. So giving AGM gift to the members costed a significant amount, and also the dinner and stage arrangement as part of the AGM activities costed a significant amount, more than 60% of the amount for the last year was spent on this activity. Then we have conducted some quiz competition prize money we have given, and then essay writing competition, the entire prize money was 3,000 rupees. And for the last two activities of the EMBS, the prize money was distributed in the subsequent year, that is 2022. That is why it is not reflected in this one. Summing up together, last year expenses was 86,125 rupees. The operating fund allotted to us by IEEE Kerala Section was 50,000 rupees. So we have spent almost 36,000 extra above our operating fund last year. That is the status of the account. So can we pass the account?
The AGM may kindly approve the expenses last year. There was no money left unspent of the money that we had last year. So all the expenses are aimed at various activities for the membership.
So based on this, this year we have requested a significantly higher amount to the Kerala chapter. We are expecting a positive reply from them.
Vinod sir,
Yes.
good evening. Whether we received any money from headquarters?
No, actually we haven't. We like this year. Now we are trying to get from headquarters this year.
Okay, if we approach headquarters, that will be the easiest way. Sir.
Yes, this year actually we are planning that. We have already initiated that activity.
Okay.
Last year we were also not very sure how to do that, and
okay.
We didn't do it last year, but this year we have initiated already.
As 2021, we have worked with the section funds. But this year we will also get the headquarters funds too, and we will also conduct some activities for the revenue generation direction. So yeah, but this minus about 36,000 should be compensated by the 2022 year's budget. So that's what we are aiming. So our collective objective is not to have a surplus. Use every rupee that we have for the activity. So having a negative balance is more appreciated than having a positive balance, because positive balance indicates that we have unspent money, which is actually not a good thing for a professional organization like EMBS. So every rupee that we have should be spent for various activities. So that way we have done more than the money that we actually had last year by using the section's resources.
Thank you, sir. Now, let's move on to the most exciting part of today's meeting. I'm sure that all of you might be eagerly waiting for this moment, the declarations of the award. And for this, I would like to call upon our beloved Jayashree ma'am, Chair of Award Committee, IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter. With all gratitude, I'd like to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Award sense. So let me first announce the Outstanding Student Branch Chapter Award. So they have maintained the Best Student Branch Chapter Award by conducting 19 activities, and the trophy is already with them. and it is none other than the TKM Institute of Technology, Kollam. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, the student branch chapter award with maximum number of members
Ma'am,
also
the
goes
certificate
to.
is not visible.
Is it visible? No. Okay.
No, madam, I think.
Madam, the slide is not changing.
Yeah, slide is not changing. So please share the screen as we have tried earlier.
Is it visible now? Once again,
Got it,
I'll try it. Is it visible now? Is it changing?
Madam,
ma'am.
it's still the same old slide only. So, screen is not getting shared, and then you can click on without full screen. We can try, madam. Without full screen, just click on the 15-second slide. That will go. Just yeah. Without the full screen, we can share screen. Okay, this is fine, madam. Yeah.
Okay. So next is the best student branch chapter with maximum number of members. Okay. So they also goes to TKM Institute of Technology, Kollam, and the membership count is 56. Congratulations. And the student branch chapter with maximum number of participants for the competitions held by IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter student activities, again goes to the TKM Institute of Technology, Kollam. And the best student branch chapter faculty advisor is Dr. Nidhavi Panikar of TKMIT, Kollam. So they have signed an MOU with the CTIMST, and most significant event was Synapsis 21. It was jointly organized by the Department of Biomedical Association, then Telemedicine Society of India, IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, and Digital Health India Association, focusing on the theme telemedicine and e-health. Congratulations, Dr. Nidha. Next comes the best student volunteer. Is Miss Atulya Ullas of Government Model Engineering College, Kochi. This is for coordinating all the events conducted by the IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter student activities. Congratulations, Miss Atulya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Then the student membership count was actually increased from 72 to 135 as on December 2021. A major role was played by the MDCs, Membership Development Coordinators, Ms. Hannah Ansar from TKM Institute of Technology, Kollam. Congratulations. Then Pratik from the Malabar region, from Vimal Jyoti Engineering College, Kannur. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Ms. Swati Krishna from the Kochi region.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And coming to the design team members. So they were vibrant, and the release of posters and flyers were completed in a timely manner. So there was no need for reminders or any prompts. Okay. They are also involved in preparing the posters and flyers of this inter-society weekly webinars too. So first member, design team member, Mr. Abhijit Obi of College of Engineering, Pathanampuram. A special mention for his commendable work. Then Mr. Rishi Manoj. Congratulations. Then Sijin S. Daniel from TKMIT. I really appreciate these team members. Next is the appreciation certificates. Is our event lead, Miss Sri Lakshmi from Sahardaya College of Engineering and Technology, so who has helped the student representative to coordinate all the events of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter student activities. So thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for comparing this AGM too.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then the content writers. The content writers actually submitted the reports on time. A special thanks to Ms. Sania of Mar Basilius College of Engineering and Technology, Ms. Grishma Nath from Sahardaya College of Engineering and Technology, and Ms. Anne Cyprian from Government Model Engineering College. Then comes the industry and public relations. So even though the events in association with the industries were less, Ms. Sona S. Babu was involved in all the other activities. Congratulations, Sona. Then comes the Sbc Chairpersons. They have played an important role in organizing all the activities of their student branch chapters. So first is Ms. Amina Ahmad Muhammad from TKM Institute of Technology, Kollam. Then Ms. Agna Ennam from Sahardaya College of Engineering and Technology, Thrissur. Ms. Reena Ravindran from Government Model Engineering College, Kochi. And Ms. P.S. Harsha of Mar Basilius College of Engineering and Technology. And also, I appreciate Ms. Amina, Ms. Swati, Mr. Abhijit, Ms. Adulya, and Ms. Hanna for being the convener for the Inter-Society Weekly Webinar series. And once again, appreciate all your team spirit and volunteering efforts throughout the various events in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And congratulations to all the award winners and the student execom members. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Kurut P. Varghese, sir, Chair of Nomination Committee, for announcing the office bearers for next year. It's my privilege to welcome you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
You can see me also, yeah? Video.
Yes, we can see you, sir.
In the screen, I am seeing the other one only. Official slide. Official slide is there.
Yes, I.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little late, and first of all, thank Manoj to reminding me. Because nowadays, because of so many other activities involved, and my previous team also know that I am not a regular person to check the WhatsApp and all those things. But everything my colleagues call me. So Manoj called me some few minutes again, so I was rushing back. Anyway, I think initial thing I could not hear, but it's went on well. So things. Anyway, good afternoon to all. And I am very happy to see you all after a long gap. Is there? And my duty is here to announce the list names of new office bearers. But till 2021, this was a great event announcing, because everybody was eager, waiting for this and who is the next chair, who is the thing. Because this was done with meticulously with so many things. That was the tradition for IEEE. Because that is the one which is not in any societies. Because what I worked is, I have associated with IEEE, IETE, Institute of Engineers, Computer Society of India, EMBS, like that, so many organizations. But normally what happens is, because I was secretary, chairman for so many things in IET and also. My previous practice, what happened is the previous office bearers will see that somehow the finance is made zero and the money is given to the next group. They will say that finance is, some program is made and finance, and they not even a single person had thought of keeping some money for the next generation of the next group. Because when I came to Trivandrum, only the IEEE started and got the section, because I was from 82 onwards in Trivandrum. At that time, I'm taking 2 minutes, finance was only, when I took over the chairman, it was only 14 rupees. It was, I turned over the thing from KPP number. With how much difficulties we generate the fund and made an office building, because we had an office building now itself. So my suggestion is that, if I am wrong, you can correct me. I says EMBS should keep separate money so that keeping an official space of your own in some prominent city, so that the next generation will go on without any problem. That's my personal opinion. But in this situation, in this COVID situation, then it's very difficult to collect money and everything. But now the COVID situation, it's very difficult to spend money also. That also it is there. So, and announcement, now the 2021, a new system was already made, and already the new office bearers is already announced. And everybody know who is the chairman, who is the secretary, who is the vice chair, and everything it is there. So there is no significance of things there. But since there is a role, I will tell it up. But our previous practice was, I humbly request of the new office bearers to just, even though there are roles are there, please follow, give some weightage to the previous thing, because there is a nomination committee now also. They can think and find out, handpick a person from different areas, in what way the next year it should go on, select a persons, find them and give roles, new roles. Bring new persons to the society, so that area can be given. See, it's quite natural when a new person is brought in, one person has to go out. A person going out doesn't mean that he is not good or anything like that. He was expert and everything there. So previously what is, there is a nomination committee, with the consent of the chair and everything, we will do it. But here, this last year what happened is a self-nomination. Assume what happened, what is happening, self-nomination problem is, anybody can give a nominate. If we are having, what is our membership now? 100 and? Okay, more than 100.
213.
Okay.
213.
200. Suppose 213 persons can give a nomination for being a chairman. Because no restriction. Assume a situation is coming that 200 persons is giving a nomination for becoming chairman. And what is the problem for nominating an election procedure and everything? So I have strongly recommended Kerala section, this self-nomination has to be read. They were doing for that. Okay. Anyway, we are a special society from others. We have our own identity, so we will not have any problems. We are professionals. Wherever it is there, we can go on. But till time is going on, I will just nominate the one. Chairman for the new year is Dr. Manoj B.S. as a previous chairman itself. And sir, we are confident, because last year also you have done a wonderful job. This year also you can do a wonderful job for EMBS also and bring them together.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And vice chair is Viju V.S. He was a secretary for the last 2-3 years. We have to elevate everybody, even though Viju also will I hope that he will do a good job. So Baiju N.B. is from CDAC.
Thank you, sir.
Secretary is Vinod Kumar. He is from Srijitra also. Srijitra Institute of Medical Science and Technology. He was the secretary. He is really disappointed because he could not spend any money and became any money when the treasurer period. But no problem. Now you are the secretary, you can do a better job. And treasurer is money. Sudhal money from this one. That is this one. But if chair permits, you can, in the general body itself, you can nominate a joint secretary, or else your team can select your own executive meeting and select a joint secretary and additional post, and everything you can go on proceed with this one. That's I'm leaving to the role for the chairman for organizing a vice joint secretary for EMBS. Because why the joint secretary may not have any job or may have a job, but we have to bring somebody in the track. Okay, that's the one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I would like to extend my congratulations to all the new office bearers and my sincere gratitude to the office bearers of 2021. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. V.S. Manoj, sir, Chair of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for delivering address speech by outgoing incoming chair. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Thank you, Guru sir, for the effort that you have placed as chairman of the nomination committee. Thank you all members for the support you have given during the last 1 year. So next slide, please. Madam, can you move to the next slide? Yeah. So you have also known that IEEE EMBS has completed about 8 years of existence, and it has been growing substantially. Guru sir has been the pillar of this organization for so many years, and he has now taken a new role of guiding us to continue that path as well as the traditional path. So during the last 1 year, we have faced so many challenges. One of the biggest challenge was the continuing waves of COVID. In fact, when we took over, we were in the gap between the first and second wave, and as soon as we took over, the second wave took us for a very troublesome period, and the third wave followed. And we are still in the continuing phase. In fact, we were planning to have this physical or hybrid when we planned for this AGM last month. However, due to the growing TPR in Kerala, we could not do that. So because of that, we actually wanted to move forward to the next month's event, which will be for the major award ceremony as well as a release of some of the important outcomes of this year. So that will be conducted separately. So now, why this EMBS growth is very important, and why we need to give an increasing thrust for the membership here, is because I have already mentioned in the last AGM also the particular factors that India is facing. India doesn't have a very strong biomedical engineering industry, when we have a biotechnology industry as well as pharmaceutical industry. The biomedical industry, the opportunities that we have is growing. The supply is actually not growing in proportion to that. So if you consider, as I have mentioned earlier, one of the biggest concern of India is the growing elderly population, where we have in the 2011 to 2021 population, we have about growth of elderly population about 35.8%. Whereas the general population increase was only 12.4%. So you can see 3 times the general population growth is the population growth of the elderly citizens. So we are expecting in the next 10 years, by 2021 to 2031 period, the next 10 years, we will be having about 40% growth of elderly citizens. So which means the support required for products and services of biomedical engineering is actually going to be much higher in the next 10 years than in the last 10 years. So now this is another interesting thing. By when 2011 estimate had shown about 5.6% of Indian population as senior citizens. 10 years later, in 2021, we had about 10% of Indian population reaching senior citizenship age. Okay, now the next 10 years, we are actually expecting about 13 or more percentage of elderly population. So now why EMBS Kerala is becoming very significant is because among these Indian states, the Kerala has the highest percentage of elderly population, which is about 16.5%. So that is going to be a very, very significant concern of, as I mentioned earlier, the products and services of EMB area. So in fact, as a matter of our effort for increasing the impact of EMB area and increasing the professional activities of EMB area, we collaborated with the non-IEEE as well as IEEE organizations. Non-IEEE organizations like Medical Society of India, Digital Health Association partnered with us to organize several events. Even within IEEE, many organization units such as the Inter-Society Activities Group, LMAC Group, MTTS have jointly conducted our activities. So, in fact, roughly 1 out of 3 days we had an EMBS activity in our region. So, this was despite all the difficulties that we have faced, in moving things, moving people, and meeting in person, and so on. So, as I mentioned earlier, our membership grew by 63%. Every rupee that we had in the budget, we have used. We have also, taken additional money from the section to do that. So we have not left any rupee unspent for our membership during the last 1 year, which is I take a certain amount of pride to discuss that. Next slide, please, madam. So our target community has been expanded. So in the past years, we have been focusing on UG, PG, and partly about PhD students. We have expanded to the other important communities too. The technicians of biomedical engineering, as well as the other spectrum, other end of the spectrum, the postdoctoral scholars. By GNB, our vice chair will soon announce the clear plans of how we are actually going to do in this particular area. So in addition to that, we are actually going to handle academic institutions in a better way by formation of clubs and SB chapters in institutions where it's not existing. So this year, 2021, we started some, but it is still not complete as of today. Industry is our target community, which we have not yet made a significant impact. And we continue to do that. This upcoming year, we will be planning a few activities specifically targeting industry, bringing in speakers from the industry in various formats, either in the panel discussion format or coffee table chat like format, or other gaps where we can bring industry closer to EMB activities and closer to academy activities, so that we might collectively make an impact in EMB area in Kerala. So we also want to work with the care centers, hospitals, and the NGOs. So one of the biggest requirement of today's engineering student population is that they need to work with communities which are really facing the real world challenges. Caregivers face some kind of challenges, hospitals face some kind of challenges, and old age homes face some kind of challenges. And these challenges are not really communicated well to the engineering students, so that they can actually try to solve some problem. Besides solving the problems, they also want to create an empathy with the significantly aging population. As I mentioned earlier, more than 16% of Kerala's population is old age, which is only going to grow in the years to come. And our students are untouched with these populations. So there's a gap between the senior citizens and the younger student population is very significant. We can bridge that by doing some kind of volunteering activities in caregiving centers or other ones. So towards that, we need to collaborate with the LMAG and SITE, as well as organizations like NIST. Next slide, please. So India-specific plans. So we have a few activities we have conducted last year, as well as we will continue to look into the national and local plans. India-specific biomedical engineering knowledge is a treasure of opportunities. It is a treasure of historical knowledge that has been empirically proven over last several thousands of years. But applying modern science into that, we might be able to help a new ecosystem for Indian researchers. So our idea is to bring together the interdisciplinary communities of artificial intelligence and Indian medical knowledge, Indian traditional system knowledge like Siddha, Unani, Ayurveda. There is a lot of historical treasurable knowledge existing, and we are not able to, our current generation is not able to do that. So this is where AI can play a major role. Maybe we will bring out new medicines in old systems, as well as new medicine in modern medicine from the old knowledge existing, if we can bring together. We have been trying to interact with a few government executives on funding research in this particular area. EMB may make a national direction which no other EMB section across the world may can not do. So we also want to be a subcommittee for government relations, which government can support. We can support government as well as we can get help from the government, particularly in the formation of industry in EMB area, the formation of technoparks identified for EMB areas within the existing technoparks or biotech parks that can actually bring industrial growth in Kerala on EMB matters. So we want to have senior leaders like Guru Sir or Sukesh Kumar Sir to lead this government relations subcommittee, so that we will be able to play a very proactive role to that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, how to bring technologies which are relevant to the local population. So how to adapt to the modern science as well as technology solutions to the situation in Kerala, particularly where the abandoned and aged population is actually growing. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned earlier, our key thrust focus continue to remain with what we have been doing. That is to actually disseminate the trends and knowledge of EMB area to our membership. So we need to identify these emerging areas. Since 2021 January, February to 2022 January, February, things have changed dramatically in the engineering as well as technology area in EMB. So digital twins, computational medicine, IOMT, robotics for biomedical engineering, astrobiological engineering, and the significant use of AI, AR, VR technology. These are some of the examples. Our major focus is going to identify and disseminate the emerging trends and knowledge in EMB area to our membership, so they will be able to get an advantage over the others. So this is going to continue to remain. I would like to once again express my heartfelt thanks to all members assembled here for having extended their support, and I would like to keep some feedback. We'll actually then send a feedback form soon after the AGM, so that we can get information about what areas are relevant for the membership and what areas they would like us to give an impactful program. So in a few slides, in a few minutes from now, Baju sir will be actually explaining some of the plans for the entire thing for the next year. However, please send us any information that you have, any ideas that you have, where we can actually help you organize some of the activities, thereby benefiting the membership. Thank you again. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Vinod Kumar, sir, a new Secretary of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for discussing future plans and activities. Welcome, sir.
Thank you all, and thank you, Dr. Manoj, for the wonderful elaboration of the activities which are already planning. So my job is half or mostly done. We'll just formally we'll have a discussion on the activities which we have planned for next year, and the AGM may suggest their the opinion on these particular activities after I just present the slides. One of the activity which we are planning in the next year is a coffee table chat with industry or professional or technical leaders. Why we are thinking about such a program is that usually when we approach industry leaders or the people who are successful in making their startups a success, they are a little reluctant to give any technical talks. Rather than they will be they like to share their experience as the leaders in industry. So for them, it will be more comfortable to have a coffee table chat, kind of informal chat kind of a program. So which we are planning to have 2-3 such programs a year. Then second one and the third one, our chair, Dr. Manoj, will be leading the activity, annual reading camp for EMBS research scholars. It will be a mentor-led activity, reading camp for PhD scholars. And a second one is a technical session on research writing, writing for EMBS research scholars. Again, that will be led by our chair, Dr. Manoj. Other activities proposed is interdisciplinary panel discussions, as we have already seen in the last slides. The other areas like Ayurveda or other healthcare related domains and engineering, we can have interdisciplinary panel discussions so that we can have a fruitful outcome from such discussions. Oops. Am I not audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay.
Audible, but
very feeble. Okay,
quite
I'll
low,
try.
so
I'll try to be louder. I'll try to be
yeah,
louder.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And formation of EMBS India Council having a national conference and other coordinated events. As we all know, like Kerala doesn't have much industries, especially in biomedical area. So if we can have a more collaboration with other national centers, we can have more coordinated events that will bring more results. Then another one is a program on academia industry interactions with institutions like Nish, Sridhara, Setronics, AMDC, etc. Bring them in around the table, and we can have other programs. And a conference in association with the Telemedicine Society of India is planned, and the virtual industry exhibition. We have conducted, we have planned to conduct actually a physical exhibition in the past. In the present situation, that is not really practical, and we have seen the advantage of having virtual events now. So we are much comfortable with the virtual programs now. So we can have virtual industry exhibition so that we can any part of the world people can exhibit the technologies. Another activity which we are planning, and we request the inputs from the founder members of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter like Gorit sir, Jidin, Suresh ji and all, to record the milestones of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter and record it for the purpose of future references. Another activity which we are planning is to expand the spectrum of target human resources, like to expand our activities to starting from biomedical engineering technicians, BTech students, MTechs, PhDs, and postdoctoral areas. So all spectrum of human resources we would like to cover. Another one and an important activity, again, which will be coordinated by our chair, Dr. Manoj, which will be kind of a virtual postdoctoral program. PhD scholars across the world can have a postdoctoral program with a mentor in IEEE EMBS Kerala section, a 2-year program without any fellowships. Can we go to the next slide, please? Along with the new activities planned, we will be continuing our previous activities like JC Bose Memorial Talk with MTTS. And the first talk is scheduled on March 2022. Distinguished lecture series will be continuing, and this year we are planning to bring in more distinguished scientists and engineers for the lecture series. Being an online program, we will be able to bring in some very important people. That is what we hope, and we request the members to suggest and invite more distinguished lectures. I'm sorry, my voice is going low. Distinguished lecture series, I request the members also to suggest and invite distinguished lectures to deliver talks to our members. And webinars and technical talks will be continuing, panel discussions and workshops, industrial visit for student members, And the directory of biomedical engineers and telemedicine professionals will be updated in 2022. Inter-society weekly webinar series will be continued, and popularization of EMBS by delivering talk on recent trends in biomedical engineering in all engineering colleges in Kerala will be coordinated. Student chapter activities like students meet, selection of student activities, execom will be done after the AGM. Internship on assistive technologies, biomedical engineering quiz will be conducted on National Science Day. Essay competitions, BME project exhibitions, and funding to best student projects from preferably from the exhibitions will be done. State level be a biomedical engineering paper contest and to attend annual EMB conference. Medical camps on World Health Day, webinar in connection with National Technology Day and Doctors Day. Pulse talks and biomedical engineering PhD students meet, PhD scholars meet. So these are the activities which we have planned, and we request the suggestion from the general body on these matters. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now the forum is open for discussions for members to raise your suggestions and points.
I can see that the participation is low even in the AGM, even though we have more than 200 members. Our participant list is only 34. How to improve this in our activities? Like even in distinguished lectures, we could see that the number of participants was less. How we can improve it?
Yeah. The main problem is this virtual thing, you know, because now the problem is there is only 12 hours for the day. And I have to attend around 18 programs per day. It is there. So every, and IEEE is having more than 18 societies, and each society is organizing programs. So mobilizing participation is really difficult. So since myself being the chairman for LMAG, this we have made a decision saying that this year we will conduct 1 month, 1 program for members, but it is only for the members, and all other programs we will join with other societies. So we can have programs with us. So EMBS can have a major program with the LMAG and everything and make that program a big one. And for that program, so many members will attend. And for EMBS members alone, from a small program, how that there we will have only our members and it can proceed. That's one way. And another one from your suggestions, what is the last one you have mentioned is that is one is AR, VR for elders. Actually, that full I have not mentioned some AR, VR for elderly aged or something like that. If that program can be projected and if we can write through LMAG to Arten LMAG, they will provide you fund for any of those programs. It has to be conducted. But only the problem is that fund, it has to come through the section. Section could give us the money. And after completing our project, we have to submit and we have to get fund from the Arten. Main thing for each project, we have to find the funds. This one, if you can write to Arten, and they will give you funds. Some around $2,000 you will get.
Yeah, we will definitely make an attempt.
We'll try to, you can write to Astana through LMAG, we can forward and we can write a project. This is the work which are going on. And this one, this is for elderly only, and life members and LMAG members only. Okay. That you'll get. That you'll get.
Thank you, sir, for your suggestion. Any other members, any suggestions? Please feel free to make either through chat box or by turning on your mic.
Sir, I am Minimal from Model Engineering College. Congratulations to the new chair and all the award winners. Actually, I couldn't join lately. Yesterday, I met with an accident and just now only I got discharged from the hospital. So I feel that for connecting more members, actually we need to have connections with the members. So means like personal connections. And nowadays students are actually overwhelmed with this online classes, and they are not finding all this online webinars much interesting. But if we can make connections among students as well as members, I think they will be having an obligation to join. And all the
Madam, our current communication is through WhatsApp, email, or through IEEE Section C notice. So, what do you suggest any particular communication channel that we can use in addition to this for connecting with the membership?
In addition, we can have some activities where we can mentor the students, mentor the members, as well as so some kind of communication among the students. I think this will help, because the activities that we are planning for next year, they are all very good, and if we can connect with the students, it will be more fruitful, I think.
Yeah,
like the senior members or the faculty members, they can form groups, and then we can assign this student members also to each person, and then have a conversation in between or something like that.
We are very much aware of that. We will definitely try to reach out. Right now, that's what I'm saying. We have only limited channels to reach the membership. We want to reach every member. We don't want to miss out anybody in any of the activities that we do. So maybe we can actually have a different channel through the student branches or student SAC, so that we can reach all students. That is definitely a possibility. Thank you for your suggestion.
Yeah, right now we have only virtual meetings. No? So if we have offline meetings, I think the scene would be different.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Now, Jiten Kishan had a suggestion. Are we planning to have any conference? I mean, flagship conference of EMBS. Can we try for one? Plus visibility in section flagship conference. I see various participants of our society in the areas we represent. So, Jiten is asking about whether we are going to have a flagship conference. Yes, actually, we have been thinking about a flagship conference. We were thinking of having a conference that can be rotated within India across different EMBS chapters. So we have identified only 3 chapters existing in India. So we are trying to have a contact and meeting with them to have some sort of an EMBS India Council kind of thing, where each chapter can take 1 year's conference and conduct it. So that kind of a discussion is now going on. If it works out well, we will be having a good quality national conference where we'll be able to rotate that within India. So we can also think about in section organized conferences. We can have a special session on certain areas relevant for EMB. That is also possible. We can our society visibility will be there. We'll definitely think about something in Indicon 2022. If the conference organizers allow us to have a special session or a workshop or something to be co-located with it, we'll explore that opportunity. Yeah. Spices.
Vinod was telling something about this virtual exhibition or something. So I think it will be helpful for the students if from different departments or the hospitals, if we can arrange a virtual exhibition or a virtual exhibition of a lab in which people are working, that it will be much useful for the students.
Yeah, I think that is a very good idea. We'll take care of that. The industrial exhibition, virtual industrial exhibition, was planned to bring industry as well as our student members to coordinate and have an interaction. So, as you know, we have very limited number of industries in our section, our chapter area. Okay. So unless we bring more industries, we will not have more students requirement. We will not have more colleges with the BMA programs. Everything depends on the job opportunity. So the shortage of industries is actually the fundamental problem of the rest of the shortages. So that way, we want to try to bring industrial growth. Then only we will be able to do the rest of the growth. That's why the industrial program is organized. At some point of time, we will make it a physical industrial exhibition. But right now, we cannot ensure physical thing because we are still not out of the COVID pandemic yet.
See, Manoj, one thing I am suggesting is we can think of that exhibition virtually, or if the situation comes better, we can do a physical one.
Correct.
If it is not there, since I am now in the committee for the Institution of Engineers, if Manoj also can interact with the chairman for the Institution of Engineers, we can arrange an amount of 10,000 rupees from Calcutta, and we can organize that program for exhibition by end of December itself. I think now itself we can interact with them. We can plan such a way that by the end of this year we can have an exhibition. Let us plan for a physical, but a physical is difficult. But if it is physical, let it be on virtual, and that we can work out. Institute of Engineers will help.
In virtual also, as minimum suggested, we'll think of having it from the lab. We'll try this time. We'll try to have it.
It will be useful from ST if a lab can be introduced to what all work.
Yes, we'll definitely try for that.
The virtual will be more viable, I think. The virtual we can interact with different labs and everything. From there we can treat up with them.
Yeah, then Jitin was also suggesting that the Spices 2022, there is no healthcare track. Actually, I myself did not know about the Spices planning, or somehow we missed the existence of Spices 2022 because it was held in Toronto. I think it's going to be next month, so it's too late to organize something there at this point. But in the upcoming conferences that we come to know, we'll definitely think about organizing a track or a special session or something in EMBS area for the EMBS membership support. So that's a very good plan in addition to having. So Sabina was actually asking, do we have a WhatsApp group for EMBS chapter? Yes, we have, and we are even today also we sent a few messages and reminders through that. If you are not a member of that, please send us a message, send me or by user a message, so we'll add you to that WhatsApp group. Okay. So.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Actually, I am from TKM College of Engineering. There we don't have an EMBS chapter. So I am based on my interest. That is, my area is in biomedical side. I am researching in that area. That's why I am joining EMBS. But I am not aware of these activities. That's why I am asking, sir.
Okay. I'm surprised because I have sent an e-notice through IEEE channel as well as to our email list. Maybe.
That I got it, sir. I got the email. That's why I have joined.
Maybe WhatsApp we have to manually add each member. So that's a very good point because we have recently grown our membership. So some of the new members and some of the members that were not in the WhatsApp group may still need to be added. So we will look at that. Meanwhile, just send us a message. So by WhatsApp or some other channel, so we'll be able to add you to the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir. Jitin here.
Yes, please.
Sir, what about our student branches? I think we had 3 branches, I think. I don't know exactly. We have TKMIT, we had Modern Engineering College, then we had Sahurdaya, right?
The Madam Sabina is from TKMCE, where we don't have a current student branch.
Now asking about the current student branches we have, chapter has.
So MBCT2. MBCT2.
So we have 4 active branches.
Yes, active branches 4. ISER is also there.
Then we have 5, right?
Yes, active student branches 4.
Okay, ISER is also there. Okay.
Yes.
Any other suggestions from the members? Any feedback? Okay, then thank you. Thank you for all the feedback. Sri Lakshmi, you can go ahead with the rest of the process.
Okay, sir. Finally, I would like to call Dr. Sudalai Mani C, new treasurer of IEEE EMBS Kerala Chapter, for delivering vote of thanks. Welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Good evening, all. On this wonderful evening, I would like to present the vote of thanks. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. P.S. Manoj, the outgoing as well as the incoming chair of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter for his exceptional guidance and support for taking EMBS Kerala chapter activities one step ahead. I extend hearty thanks to Dr. P.S. Manoj on behalf of EMBS Kerala chapter and my own behalf. Thank you, sir. On behalf of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to Dr. R. Makesh Panikar, the outgoing vice chair, for valuable support towards EMBS Kerala chapter activities. Thank you, sir. On behalf of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to Mr. Baiju NP, the outgoing secretary, and also the incoming vice chair for his remarkable efforts. Thank you, Mr. Baiju. On behalf of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to Mr. Vinod Kumar B, the outgoing treasurer, and also the incoming secretary of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter 2022. Thank you, sir. On behalf of IEEE Kerala chapters and also my own behalf, I extend my sincere thanks to the engineer Korp B. Varkis sir, the chair of nomination committee, and also the pillar of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter. Thank you, sir. On behalf of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to Dr. Jayasri MJ, Students Activity Chair, IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter, for her commendable efforts. Thank you, madam. On behalf of IEEE EMBS Kerala chapter, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to all the student volunteers for their commitments and aggressive support. Thank you all. I extend my vote of thanks to the senior members, IEEE EMBS members, fellow coordinators, student volunteers, and to the one and all attending the program and who made the event a grand success. Thank you all. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, sir. Alone, we can do little. Together, we can do so much, said by Helen Keller. With all the delightful memories of working together for the last year and with an exciting waiting for the events and experiences of the coming year, we have reached to the end of our meeting. With whole heart, I would like to thank all of you who have been together with us and have gifted with us your valuable time. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. The
Please
meeting
stay
is...
for a moment for a group photo before leaving. So please turn on the camera if you can.
Madam, please stop the PPT.
Group photo before we leave. Please turn on the camera for a moment if you can. Yeah, whoever could take the camera on, we took some snaps. So I'll share this with you through the WhatsApp, pass it as email communication. Thank you for attending the AGM and extending your support as well as suggestions. We wish to get your continued support for the next year too.
The meeting is officially concluded.
Thank you all. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you all.
Guru sir, your mic is muted.
So I switched on my mobile phone and closed the cover so that I was on to show you that I am online. But I not attended, heard any of the initial things. It's okay. So went on very well. Teacher, okay. Okay. Very okay.
നന്നായിട്ട് പോകുന്നു സർ.
Going on well.